things that we are responsible for. And when we are responsible for things that we are responsible for, excuse me, we're responsible for the things that we are in charge of. God put us in charge of. When you have children, you're responsible for them. You're responsible. However you want to say it, however you want to look at it, you're responsible for the children, and you should be held accountable. The incident in Newport News, where the 6-year-old took his mother's gun to the school, and he wound up shooting the teacher because she was trying to protect the children in the class. He's lucky they didn't shoot him. At least he's still alive. Several years ago, a kid was in a park playing with a toy gun. He wasn't threatening anyone, and they killed him. So he's blessed. No charges. His mother got charges, which I agree with. I've been advocating for that for years. I helped work on people campaigns that said they was going to change that, delegates and senators. And when they didn't do their job to bring it to the floor to get a bill passed, these are the things that happen when we take our eye off the ball, our eye off the prize. The prize is our young people. That's the gift that God gave us. He didn't give us no community. He said, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. That's the 10th commandment. Where in the 10th commandment you see community? I mean, I don't take no rocket scientist, but in the 10th commandment, if I misunderstood it, I don't think I seen community in it. The African proverb was, it take a village to raise a child, which I use that in one of my books. But today's children is being raised by children. I wrote that over 10 or 15 years ago. Our children are being raised by children. Why? Because the children were 12 and 13 having babies. The babies grew up with babies. Hello. What part we don't understand? We weren't marching about childbirth back then, was we? Oh, no. But we was black men, young and old, getting pipelined to prison. The prison industrial continued to rise. Women were told, hey, you the boss. You can raise the children on your own. You can't raise a man on your own. We have great mothers, but mothers need somebody besides herself to help raise those children. Because the government wants you to believe that. And you've been believing that. So if that was true, how come we got so many kids killing every day? Look at the age. Look at the age of the people that are dying. We got to do better. We got people out there doing things in the community. And that brings me to the one and only. Well, I can put that up since it's already up. The FINNEY Family First Foundation, who's got an event coming up. As you can see, I put all the information. It's the FINNEY Family First Foundation. And let me see, can I get that out? Okay. Creation Dance Studio presents the Royal Beast Battle. It's the Royal Beast Battle. That means it's going to be on and popping. So, you know, if you're a dancer, you know, get your teams out there. It's going to be a $1,000 cash prize. First and third place, second and third place trophies, and a $25 cash only. Age range is 3 and under are free. Location, Portsmouth, Virginia. That's going to be at the in the Churchland area. You know, the categories are walkthrough, mini stands, junior stands, senior stands, parent stands, coach battle, and captain's battle. They got a lot of categories there. So if you want to participate, that's going to be April the 22nd, which I think is next week. I'm pretty sure it's part 2, you know, and you know the FINNEY Family First Foundation, those 4 F's are always doing it big in P-Town. You already know what time it is. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. You better ask somebody. So we want people to come out, bring the kids, and let them know that, hey, this is for the kids. They have always doing things in the community for the kids. Hopefully next week, if I can reach her or someone to come out and be on the show, maybe on Tuesday. Desiree, FINNEY, if you're watching, if you'll be able to come out. And want to take time to say good morning to my favorite viewer, Mrs. Teresa Riddick. How you doing this beautiful Saturday morning or afternoon? Like I said, Desiree has always been doing things for the community. And we need to support the things that she's doing. See, this the stuff I go through when I put stuff up. It never comes up like it's supposed to. And let me see, can I get that banner up so that you will know what's going on? I don't know what happened, but like I said, when you work by yourself, these are the things that happens which you have no control over. And the control is all that information I type, and then I don't have it. It is unforgivable. I keep telling you, the things that we go through when we are working and trying to get positive things done, we sometimes fall short in trying. But nevertheless, you know, they can't stop me. That's the thing is, see, the enemy is always trying to get you to give up. You know, the little things that come up when you're doing and trying to get good information. That's what they call it, good information or good trouble, as I could take a quote. Good trouble, there's always something going on that will stop you from doing just that, you know. So I just want y'all to be aware that that's the information at the bottom of the thing. And two, you know, she got 2 events going on the same day. And the other event that be going on is celebrating Autism Awareness Month. Come on out and support my walk. That's going to be going on the same day. So for more information, and I'm going to try to have this young lady as well that's putting this event on, and we're going to try to make sure that everything shows up. You know, come on out, bring the family. It's going to be at April the 22nd, Churchland Middle School. That's 4050 River Rivers Shore, I think that's the title. I don't know why things ain't up there the way they're supposed to be. But if you stay in P-Town, you already know where Churchland High School is. You know, I call it off a high street, but I guess it's another street it's on. But you'll see it if you go across the Portsmouth, the Churchland Bridge in Portsmouth, and continue down there, and it'll be over to your left-hand side. In over there in Chesapeake. That's part of Chesapeake and Portsmouth. So, but nevertheless, that's going to be going down. I'm going to hopefully try to get them on the show this Tuesday so you can get more information about what's going on in our community, in our neighborhood. And it's all about showing our special needed community that we care about them. And Desiree has been supporting this event for years. And all she's doing is asking for the community help to come on out and show a little love for the events that she put on for Portsmouth, Virginia. And we all are involved in so many things. You know, the FINNEY family always there. It's been there, you know. I think they was on my show way back in 2000. They've been on it for a number of years, 7 or 8 years or more. She always showed up and showed out. She's always putting on cookouts and basketball things, and, you know, autism. There is nothing that this family has not done for P-Town, for the 757, most of all for the state of Virginia, for the state of Virginia. She's never turned away of trying to help organizations dealing with community problems. She's always come on this show. Dodo, her son, they play basketball. When he was with the Mavericks, he was always on the show. Hopefully, with the new team he's with now, that hopefully we can get him over here soon, because he's in Brooklyn on the East Coast. And we just need to support and keep supporting those that support the community. Too many young people are losing their lives to senseless gun violence. Too many young Black men feeling there's no hope, making wrong decisions. Young people dealing with mental health after being shot at, gunshots going off in their community. We have to take back the lives of our youth. If something ain't working, you have to come up with a better solution. If you got a rocket, a spaceship, or a satellite, and if it doesn't have the right trajectory, the right fuel, the right astronauts, it's just going to sit there on that launching pad and go nowhere. And you could build all the rockets, ships, tanks, and if you don't have the proper equipment, technology, you're fighting a losing battle. We're losing a battle. We have to take back the lives of our future generation because they're scared. They're afraid. That's the number one reason a young person got a gun. At 6 years old, 12 years old, 17 years old, it don't matter what their age. They are afraid. Isn't that why adults got guns? There ain't no security. They're not a police officer. So why they got a gun? Isn't the police department is supposed to protect and serve? Then why are we walking around with guns? Isn't the court, once these people have committed a felony, aren't the courts supposed to put them away for a number of months, years? Then why are we walking around here getting a gun? If you want to have a gun, join the police department. They taking applications. They're taking applications right now. You can go and sign up in any city. Get a job on the police force. Why are you walking around, get caught with an illegal gun, go to jail even if you got a permit to carry a gun? It doesn't give you permission to use it. Have you taken a training course? One of the main things they tell you in the training to get your concealed permit, you have a right to carry a weapon. You have a right to conceal it. But you don't have a right to kill someone with it. And why is it when people are getting shot, walking away from you, you think it's okay? There are no threats. That's the law. A person walking away from you is no threat. It's the person that's coming towards you to make you fear for your life. But if you got to carry a gun, you have a right to bear arms. But where in the Constitution? Sure, find it if it's there. Hey, I can be wrong. I don't know everything. It says bear arms. It don't say commit murder. People are being murdered. Our young people are seeing it. It's bad enough when people go off to war. Post-trauma. We got mental health issues going on in our community that needs to be addressed. I can't tell or say enough. I can only try to do as much as I can, because God blessed me to have 7 kids and about 15 grandkids and a great-great-grandson. At what point are we going to take advantage to know when God has blessed us to raise young men and women? They grow up and have a family. Are we going to continue to sit on the sidelines and pretend that, hey, everything is hunky-dory? Our kids are dying. We have to do more to protect them and to save them. We can't do it alone. Mothers, if you need help, you can call social service, police department, and let them know, hey, my son is acting up. I'd rather for my son to be in jail than to be dead. What part you don't understand? Going to jail ain't forever. But dying is forever. You ain't coming back. How you live with that? How do you live when a mother has lost a son or a daughter? How do you live as a father knowing that that was your son that was shot and died? That was your son that committed the worst crime you could commit, is take someone's life, because we don't have a right to. You don't have to agree with everything I say. I don't care. I have one desire, and that's to make sure a young person can grow up to grow old. You think you see me with all kind of costumes on, all kind of Captain85. You see me with the Dream Maker hat on. But you see me with a beard. I don't have to wear a beard. I wear a beard because I want young people to know they can wear one too. But they got to live. They have to be here. They got to be able to be here to grow old, to get this. Or they can go buy one, put one on. I'm talking about you don't get this until you get grown. I can cut it off tomorrow. And it'll grow back. I want them to be able to grow one. I want them to be able to say, I made it. Somebody cared enough for me to tell me when I was wrong. I told you I opened up Picasso's back in the 90s. The reason why I talk about it so much is because when I open it up, and I got hundreds of pictures to show you of the club. But when they try to close the club, their argument was the Bloods and the Crips came to Picasso's and we treated them like royalty. The employees and staff was saying yes, sir, and no, sir, to the customer. But notice, if you ever came to Picasso's or never heard of Picasso's, if you have been to any establishment, spent your hard-earned money, you don't work 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, and you walked up to a place, today, and you spending your money, and they can't say good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Why are you spending your money with them? Why are you giving any business your hard-earned money and their staff can't show respect, to show their appreciation for you coming to their business, spending your hard-earned money that you work 40 plus, maybe 2 jobs, maybe 3 jobs to make ends meet, but you said, hey, I'm going to go to this club and I'm going to support them. And they won't even speak to you, talk to you in a respectable way. You don't need to be going there. When I run any establishment, it was good evening, good, thank you. Even when I talk to customers, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And I'm older than they are. Or sometime I was their age. And they'd be like, why are you saying yes, ma'am, to me? I look like your mom or something? No, that's the way I was brought up. I was brought up to be respectful. I wasn't brought up to forget the struggle that our ancestors had made. Why can't we understand somebody paid a price? Somebody paid a price for you and me. We'll talk about Martin Luther King. He paid a price with his life. We'll mention Dr. Megan Everett. He paid a price with his life. We have a right. We have a right to talk and show our young people the right way. Why we got to keep going down the wrong road? Why is it that our young people have to go to prison to learn what's right? Why do our sons and daughters have to go to the courts for the judge to tell them? You better not come in here with your pants down in here. You need to take that head off. And they ain't gonna tell you but once. I've been in courts and hear the judge tell them, you're not going into court looking any kind of way, even though, because the judge has a right to use his discretion. If he want to put you in jail, put you on probation, give you a fine, or let you go. Don't you know he's sitting there looking at you when you walk up to that, up to the front of the court? He's looking at your body language. When you speak, if you got a lawyer, you don't. Then he turns to the police officer so you can tell your children that might have to go to court. The police officer is going to tell him everything that he said or done. And the judge is going to say, when he finished reading that off, the judge is going to ask the police officer, how did he treat you? Because you fail to realize, even though the police department is there to protect and serve, you know who his real boss is? You know who he really works for? Oh, he don't work for the work for the captain, the lieutenant. They all work in the same department. When you go to court, the police officer works for the judge. He works for the judge. So when you're sitting there thinking, hey, I'm going to talk to this police officer any kind of way, I'm going to say what I want to say, ain't nobody going to stop me. It's too late. You're up for a Grammy, meaning that you got a chance to get granted to go home, go to jail, be on probation, or be set free. He got so many things he can do to you. And you know who you're going to point his finger to? He ain't calling your mom or dad then. But you're going to wish that you had to listen. Parents, you're going to wish you had to listen, try to help your kids before they get to that threshold. Threshold. To get to that point in life that somebody got to answer to somebody. We all have to answer. It's in the Bible. The first commandment of the 10th commandment. Do you understand what that means? Thou shalt have no other God before thee, for I am a jealous God. I know you're not, most people, I ain't religion, I don't go to church. You don't have to go to church to pick up that book. That book ain't in church. It's in your house. Because I know your mom or your grandma left one there. It was passed down through generations. I got one that my mom had in the living room. And when you lived in a house in the past, you had two rooms in a house. You had the living room, which was called the front room, the living room, and a den. And the den is where everybody sat. Everybody sat in the den, watched TV. That's where the TV was, in the den. The living room, because it was in the front of the house, the front room, old school. Only people that got to sit in there was guests. And as a young man or a young lady, if you were seeing someone, your mother would give you permission to sit in there with your company. Today, you go in your own room and close your door. That's why Parents today don't know what's going on in their own house. As I said, the thing that used to be, it take a village to raise a child. And in my book I wrote, in today's generation, the child is raising the child. Of course, the young people were having kids at 12 and 13 years old. Take a look at most of the people that's in jail, incarcerated, or in trouble. They ain't 40 and 50-year-old people. Those are young men and women that had mothers had early children in their lives. And what happened is we dropped the ball, because most of the fathers are incarcerated because they ain't got the money to pay child support. They are not allowed to be in the house. We know how that goes. Who's suffering? Who's paying the price now? We can't keep sitting around pretending we're going to take back a neighborhood when we first got to take back the lives of our young people. Show them that we love them. Show them that we care. And that's what's important. Because it's important for us to be aware that love is the most powerful weapon on the face of the planet. Mothers got a hard job. They got to make sure they have a house to stay in. They got to make sure they got money to pay the bills. Then the children is watching the internet, television, and they want the latest fashions. And me as a grown man, I can't afford. That's why you see me with a Captain85 t-shirt on every time I come on, hoping that, y'all, let me pull it back a little bit so you can see. Y'all buy one, help me out, because I can't afford it. I can't afford no other shirt. I can't afford it. These will be coming on sale real soon, because I am trying to finance a program that can't be won without money. Our young people need help. We can point fingers all day. We got one of these. Look. You responsible. You looking. You are responsible. No, you're not responsible. You didn't build the system. You didn't build the system that we're in. We have to navigate these waters. Everybody can do something wrong. But when our kids do something wrong, it's prison or the cemetery. We have to be able to show them that we love them. We have to be able to show them that we care. I am not up here to condemn anybody. What I am saying needs to be said, but other people won't say it because they're trying to get views. I'm not trying to get views. I've been viewed enough. I can walk down the street and get views. I've been doing talking all my life. So I always had views. I always had people to listen to me, even when I was a child. But why I do this? Because I'm tired of seeing young people die. I'm tired of seeing our generation die and they ain't even lived yet. That's why I keep this beard. You know I'm pretty. Look at me. Let me get closer. Can you see? I know I'm pretty at 70 years old. See, people, my wife will sometimes say, why are you always telling your age? Let me see. I think that's what God said I can do because it ain't my age, it's his. Because if he stops smiling on me, I won't be here. When you go through the cemetery, there's 2 dates on the tomb. On the headstone, there's 2 dates. So far, I didn't escape many times that I shouldn't be here. Many, many times. I'll write a book and I'll put it in there. The many times I should have been there. But I can tell you about COVID. I laid in the hospital, couldn't see my family for 3 months. Had tubes and needles in my arm. Oxygen up my nose, and another oxygen over top of that for my mouth to keep me breathing. Couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. The nurses had to clean me off. You know what kind of feeling that is? And we look at nurses and don't say thank you. The people that service you when you in the hospital, you got attitudes. The doctors that treat you, I don't have no control over that. I'm just being able to get my vision back. Almost 2 years later, being able to walk properly. I'm in the gym now. I'm getting back. I got work to do. I can't do work if I can't walk, can't see. Yeah, you see me up here sometimes trying to read. You think I'm playing? I couldn't see. But I want it documented. I'm not here asking for no pity party. Because this is what we're supposed to talk about. What God has allowed us to go through so we can tell others. We can show others. Oh, I can cut this off tomorrow. Yeah, But I don't have to because I don't want to. I want a young man or a kid to look at me and say, why you got that? How you get that? Why do you have a beard? Is that a beard or what is that? Are you Santa Claus? No, I'm not Santa Claus. Ain't no Santa Claus in our neighborhood. I wear this because I want you to see. I wear this because I want you to see what God is giving you to do the same thing. I challenge you to wear the beard, to grow up. I challenge you to be able to respect the beard. Because some people can't even grow a beard. But if you live long enough, you can. It's not about me. I can stop this tomorrow. I just be less one person that people can say, all he trying to do is get some numbers. Like I tell people, I know a lot of people. Trust me. I know more people than most of the people you see on the internet. Because they can only see people in the area they are. But when I go out of town, or my name is mentioned in another city or state, how do you think they got to know me? I'm not born in New York. I went to school in New York. How do you think they know me in Jersey or Philadelphia? How do you think they know me in Georgia, North Carolina, or South Carolina walking down the street? So when you get famous, you have to understand is what fame is. I'm known all over the world. I got people that watch me in Africa for the last, communicating with people in Africa for the last 10 or more years. Before people start doing the internet, I was already on the internet talking to people in other countries. Facebook is late. I was doing this way before Facebook. But it's not about me. All the things I did is to show the community, to show young people, if I can do it, and I was in a special education class, you can do it too. I've been in the news ever since I was a child. Not for committing crimes. I was at in middle school, looking at the table of the future when they was talking about computer chips. But the photographer got my back. But you can know it's, I know it's me, and people that know me knew it was me because of my afro. And the side, it was kind of like a back side view. So I recognize you. You was in a newspaper. I didn't know until someone told me. I've always been in the news. When Woodrow Wilson didn't have a black cheerleader, and we students marched out of school from Wilson, when the principal came out there on the bullhorn and say, if you don't go back to class, you're going to get suspended. Well, I was one of those people that got suspended. I wasn't the leader. I was a person that was supporting the cause. We walked from Woodrow Wilson down to City Hall. By the time we got there, they had the police to lock the doors, and we couldn't go in to discuss the agreements about not having a black cheerleader on Woodrow Wilson cheerleader team. But after that, there was one place on there. It takes action to get things done. I do this action because nobody can keep me from doing what I do. Nobody can tell me, hey, you can't do that talk show. Yeah, I'll put your comment up there, even if it's not positive. Beers are for weak people. Well, I guess that's why you don't have no clothes on. That's my opinion. And the opinion is like everybody else. You know? So when people are making statements, they don't understand is, look at yourself first in the mirror before you make judgments on others. Because even though you may not agree with me, but that's your opinion. You have a right to it. A half of a brain. Let me put that comment they made too. Have half a brain, but you on Facebook with no clothes on. I guess you're right. I don't understand. I'm here to support young people. When we don't understand the reason why we have to speak things, our young people don't know the people that's been here 100 years because they're not teaching it in school. That's why it's called race theory. That's why they're trying to block it and ban it in Virginia and other states. What did the governor say? The governor of Virginia. He said they'll learn that when they go to college. You're absolutely right. Because a lot of things I learned when I went to college. But the things they taught me in college, I already had in my home, in the books that my sister left me. Books that you go to college and pay $200 and $300 for. I had the same books that I was paying for on my shelf in my bookcase. The old theory used to be, if you put it in a book, they won't read it. Why are young people out here picking up a gun and not a book? The future is at stake. The old gospel song said, train them while they're young, so they'll know not to go wrong. It's a shame on us as adults to see young people, as they say, when you ride by the cemetery today, there's more short graves than there are long. We all know we got to die. Three years old and under, 2 years old and under, 9 months, a woman carries a child. And as long as she lives, black or white, Mexican, Filipino, Puerto Rican, whatever nationality, she has to live with that pain for the rest of her life. We all got a debt to pay. But if we sit on the sideline and do nothing, saying it's not my fault, it's not my job, somebody got to do something. Because that's why young people are dying. Do you ever watch the news? How much emotion do a parent show today when a child has been killed? How many tears do you see? We have to learn to celebrate life. We're waiting around till one of our kids die, nieces and nephews, and we having a candlelight visual. Do you see what you're celebrating with? You don't see the message in what you're doing? I know I went to a couple of those candlelight visuals. And I said, I'm not going to cover them no more. Why are we here celebrating this person who lost their lives to gun violence? Where do you see balloons and candles at? You see it at a birthday party. You see it at a celebration. Their lives are gone. You celebrate them while they're living, so they would know what it feels like. They dead. They can't come back and say, I get it. If I was living, I could have a party. I could have my friends over. Where the friends at now? Why they living? Because once they go behind bars, you think your state gonna let you stay in a state where you live at? They send you away to another state. So you can't have nobody come visit you. You ain't thought about that? Why did they send your son when they, did you know that Virginia and Texas was the two largest states in the United States, population of 700 to 800 prisons in the state? But they got to send your son away where you can't go visit him. Then make it so that he can't talk to you on the phone unless you put money in his canteen. Then everybody waiting on the phone. I've been in jail for a couple of days. Let me get it straight. For a couple of days, because I told the judge I drove to court. Because he asked me why was I late. I said a flat tire on the way here. He said, you was driving? I said, yes, sir. You mean you drove to court? You ain't got no license and you driving? I said, I got license. I got my license back from DMV. It was reinstated a month ago. He said, okay. You don't have no right to jail. I didn't tell you you could drive, did I? Nobody didn't tell me. They gave me my license back. So my license ain't suspended. He said, well, okay, 30 days in jail, some spending 27 days, and you're going to stay 3 days in jail. And that's what I had to do. Go to jail for 3 days because the judge didn't give me permission to drive. But don't forget, our future generation is at stake. I'm not condemning nobody. I'm just telling you what needs to be done. Our future is at stake because you don't know what that child was born for. Till next Tuesday, you've been listening and watching the best of the 757 Community Talk Show. Please share this with others on your page. Until then, thank you for watching and being a part of the communications on the best of the 757 Community Talk Show.